Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Perfect Game Field at Veterans Memorial Stadium here in Cedar Rapids with our computer and camera operator, Steve Carlson. My name is Darren Swenson, getting you set for round number 2 of the tournament. The number 2 seed Buena Vista playing their first game of the tournament, and they will take on Luther, who made quick work of Loris in the first game. Luther winning that one by an 11-1 margin. Egan Bondi going to the hill for the Beavers here today, and he will face this Norse lineup. Leading off in center field, Jake Vogt. Batting second at shortstop, Jake Helverson. Hitting third, the catcher, Trent Athman. Batting fourth, the designated hitter, Luke Plunkett. Hitting fifth at third base, Bryce Hinks. Hitting sixth at first base, Owen Vanderlinden. Hitting seventh, the left fielder, Joe McKibben. Hitting eighth, the right fielder, Kyle Schnobridge. And batting ninth at second base, Kilby Johnson. Luther just coming off a 11-1 victory in 7 innings over Loris, and they'll try to make it 2 in a row and move on to the semifinals Friday afternoon. BV opening up play here this afternoon at the American Rivers Conference Baseball Tournament. Glad you're with us at RoyalRivers.com. We will have all of the games remaining here at the tournament since the off-site game is now complete. Jake Vogt takes the first one inside from Egan Bondi as we get going at 1:58. 1 ball, no strikes. Vogt 0 for 3, but scored 3 runs in game number 1. And this one down the line, it'll be a fair ball and into the left field corner. Vogt hits first base, and he will stand at second with a double on a 1-0 pitch. And Jake Vogt starts game number 2 in style for the Norse. Vogt, the all-time leader in stolen bases at Luther, is at second with nobody out. And the batter will be Jake Helverson. He was 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored, a double, and 2 RBI in game number 1. Egan Bondi, the pitcher for BV, the left-hander, brings it, and the first pitch in there for a strike, 0-1. Helverson, a 4th-generation Luther College baseball player. A senior out of Rochester John Marshall High School in Rochester, Minnesota. 0-1 delivery, breaking ball swung on, fouled back, and it's no balls, 2 strikes on Helverson. Bondi at 5-1 this season with a 3.78 ERA. He was the pitcher of the week last week in the American Rivers Conference. 0-2, breaking ball outside on the off-speed offering. One ball, 2 strikes, the count on Helverson. No score, runner at second with nobody out here in the top of the first inning. Luther, the 3 seed, BV, the 2 seed. Bondi with a long pause, and the 1-2 is a fastball up for 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bondi's lone loss this year came to Luther. He threw 6 innings in that ball game and did not give up an earned run. Vogt takes off, and the pitch smack towards center field. After it is Renning. He will make the catch. Vogt trying to hustle back to second base, and he got there just in time. Vogt took off with the pitch. Helverson flew out to center field. Vogt was a significant way off the bag when Peyton Renning made that catch, but Renning's throw back to the bag, not in time, and Trent Athman will be the batter. Athman was 2 for 2 with an RBI in the 11-1 victory over Loris in the game preceding this one here tonight. Bondi ready in the first offering. Athman skies one towards shallow center. Coming on is Renning, the center fielder, and he'll make a 2-handed catch in shallow center for the second out of the inning. Defensively for BV, Riley McGregor is in left, Peyton Renning is in center, and Coleman Roberts is in right. Logan Mueller at third, Noah Paper at short, Bryce Rowe at second, and Joe Rock at first, Tyler Stolze behind the plate, and Egan Bondi on the hill. Luke Plunkett was 0 for 3 in game number 1 for the Norse. And he will bat here, lefty-lefty matchup. No score, runner at second with 2 down, and the pitch outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Plunkett second in the league in slugging percentage on the regular season, second in RBI with 34, and tied for third in home runs with 4 on the season. Freshman catcher out of Libertyville, Illinois. No balls, 1 strike, the count on Plunkett. And the pause and time asked for and granted by the home plate umpire. It'll be Cohen Dubuque in the second game here this afternoon, or the third game here at the stadium this afternoon. The ball's 1 strike. The pause and the 0-1 is outside for 1 ball, 1 strike. Of all the games on video streaming this weekend at RoyalRivers.com, so if there's any interested in parties who can't make it to Cedar Rapids this weekend, we will bring the coverage to you. 1-1, and Bondi whirls and bluffs a throw back to second base. Votes on at second base. He led off with a double. Luther with 11 runs on 9 hits in the victory over Loras earlier today. Ball and a strike with 2 down. Bondi ready in the pitch, and that got him. So Plunkett will walk down to what had been an empty first base, first and second with 2 down in the inning, and senior Bryce Hingst with a 2-out RBI opportunity chance. Hingst with 192 career hits, tied for 4th all-time at Luther. He also has 117 career RBI. That is 4th all-time at Luther. He's been a 4-year starter for the Norse. Hingst hits one off the end of the bat on the infield left side. Paper, the shortstop, will make a one-handed catch to retire the side. 1 hit, 1 walk, 2 left. 1/2 inning complete. It is Luther 0 and BV coming to bat. And the Beavers will bat this way. Peyton Renning will be in center field. Bryce Rowe at second base. Joe Rock at first base. Coleman Roberts will be in right field. Nick Henricks, the designated hitter. Logan Mueller at third base. Tyler Stolze, the catcher. Riley McGregor in left field, and Noah Paper will be at shortstop. That lineup will face Colin Coffey. He was 5th in the ARC in ERA this year with a 2.69 ERA. He also threw the second most innings of any pitcher in the league at 70.1. Coffey 6-3, making his 11th start, 3 complete games and 1 shutout, 70 1/3 innings, 77 hits, 21 earned runs, 8 walks and 49 strikeouts, opponents hitting .278 against him. So as you can tell, Coffey does allow his fair share of base runners, but you got to earn your way on with Coffey. Only 8 walks in those 70 1/3 innings so far on the season. Coffey picked up a win against BV. BV won 2 of the 3 regular season meetings between these two teams. It was a complete game victory, 9 innings, 7 hits, 1 run. It was earned, no walks, 7 strikeouts for Colin Coffey as the pitch sprayed foul off the bat of Peyton Renning. No balls and 1 strike. Renning has hit safely in 3 straight and 6 of his last 7. The 0-1 delivery sprayed foul once again. Third base side out of play, so it's no balls and 2 strikes. And of those 7 games, he's had multiple hits in 5 of those games. He's a second-generation BV athlete. Both of his parents are in the BV Athletics Hall of Fame. The 0-2 delivery, a fastball outside from Coffey, 1 ball, 2 strikes. His dad, Mark, was a second-team All-American catcher for the Beavers back in 1989. His mom, Kim, a multi-sport athlete and third on the women's basketball all-time scoring list. Curveball swung on and missed, and running down on strikes, 1 down here in the inning. The Norse defensively, Joe McKibben in left, Jake Vogt in center, and Kyle Schnobrich in right. Bryce Tinkst at third, Jake Helverson at short, Kilby Johnson at second, and Owen Vanderlinden at first, Trent Affman behind the plate, and Colin Coffey on the hill. Bryce Rowe has had a solid season. He takes a curve for a strike, 0-1. Rowe with now an 11-game hitting streak as he rolls one into right field, and he becomes the Beavers' first base runner. And in those 11 games, Rowe has had multi-hits in 8 of the previous 10. So a runner at first base, nobody out, and the batter is Joe Rock. Left-hand hitter against the right-hander Coffey. No score, bottom of the first inning. And the first offering goes low to Rock. 1 ball, no strikes. Rock, the junior from Stillwater, Minnesota, has a brother that plays basketball at BV. An academic all-conference performer last year. Runner takes off, pitch rolled to the right side, fielded on 2 hops by Vanderlinden. He'll back up and tag the bag to retire his fellow first baseman. 2 down in the inning, with Rowe moving up to second on the play. So a runner at second and 2 down, and Coleman Roberts will stand in. Roberts, the sophomore from Gilbert, Arizona, has played in every game in his Beaver career to this point. No score, runner at second, 2 down in the inning. As Roberts looks at the first one outside from Colin Coffey. 1 ball, no strikes. Coffey, a senior from Austin, Texas. Threw a no-hitter a year ago for the Norse. 1 ball, no strikes, and the pitch swung on and missed. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Now on Coleman Roberts. Winner of this game plays tomorrow afternoon. And the loser will have to play tomorrow on the back side of the bracket. Winner of this tournament gets the automatic bid to the NCAA Division III baseball tournament. 1 ball, 1 strike, and the pitch swung on and missed. It's 1-2 now. Some gas from Colin Coffey. Again, Coffey was the winning pitcher in the Norse's lone victory over BV. BV taking 2 of 3 on April 27th and 28th up in Decorah. Actually, April 26th and 28th. Beavers actually had to make 2 bus trips to Decorah. He reaches for that one, fouls one down the right field line. Vanderlinden near the visiting bullpen runs it down on the mound of the bullpen, and that will retire the side. A 1-out single, but nothing else. 1 inning complete, no score. You're watching the American Rivers Conference Baseball Tournament at RuralRivers.com. Hitters 6, 7, and 8 in the Norse lineup due here in inning number 2. Owen Vanderlinden, Joe McKibben, and Kyle Schnobridge to face Egan Bondi as the first pitch goes outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Bondi, despite allowing 2 base runners, only threw 10 pitches in that first inning. No score as the Beavers and Norse getting together for the 4th time this year. Beavers won the regular season series 2 out of 3 off speed and outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Vanderlinden hits one on the ground towards third. A 2-hopper fielded there by Mueller. He'll throw across the diamond to retire Vanderlinden. 1 down here in the inning. Joe McKibben had the big blow of game number 1. He was 3 for 4 with 2 runs scored and a 2-run homer. His 2nd of the season. No score here in the 2nd inning. McKibben out of Lakeville South High School in the Twin Cities. A curve is over for a strike, 0-1. Cloudy, cool day. Probably more of a early April day than a mid-May day here in Cedar Rapids. That one fouled back to the protective netting behind home plate. No balls, 2 strikes. But as many of you know, when you play college baseball in this part of the world, you got to take what you can get. Nothing's dropping from the sky, and that's half the battle. The 0-2, a fastball high and tight from Bondi. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lefty-lefty matchup. The 1-2 from Bondi. Sprayed foul, third base side, not a play. Bondi, a senior out of Faribault, Minnesota. He's from Faribault. McKibben from Lakeville. They're not that far apart. The pitch, breaking ball inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Going to Buke. We'll follow this one, and then Central and Loris in the elimination game at 8 o'clock tonight. The 2-2 delivery is up. So McKibben, who was down 0-2, has worked the count back to 3 balls, 2 strikes. 3-2 delivery, high and tight, ball 4. The old 0-2 to 4-2 for McKibben. And he reaches first on Bondi's first walk of the day. And the batter will be Kyle Schnobridge. Kyle did not play in game number 1. The right fielder in that game was Trent Athman. Athman doing the catching in this game for the Norse, with Luke Plunkett serving as the designated hitter. First pitch, Schnobridge out in front of the off-speed offering, swinging and missing. 0-1. Kyle, a junior from Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, Park Center High School. The ball's 1 strike in the lefty-righty matchup. Hit well towards right field, but should be playable. Roberts retreating about 15, 20 feet in front of the track. He'll make a 2-handed catch for the 2nd out of the frame. And the batter will be Kelby Johnson. Johnson was 1 for 2 in game number 1. The Norse had a good offensive attack in that game with 9 hits and 11 runs scored, but they certainly had a lot of help. Loris committed 3 errors, and their starter, Lilienthal, also walked 5 guys. As Johnson chases the first one from Bondi, swinging and missing, 0-1. Johnson tied for first in the league on the regular season in doubles with 14, tied for 4th in steals with 16. 0-1, right down the middle, taken for strike 2, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. Johnson, a tough kid, a state qualifying wrestler back in high school. He won over 100 matches on the wrestling mat. The 0-2 delivery, fly ball, shallow right, out the second baseman row, in the right fielder Roberts. Roberts will make an above-the-head 2-handed catch in shallow to medium depth right to retire the side. A harmless 1-out walk for the Norse in the 2nd. Inning and a half complete, no score between Luther and BV. You're watching the American Rivers Conference Baseball Tournament at RollRivers.com. Nick Henricks leads things off in the second inning by taking the first pitch high from Colin Coffey. 1 ball, no strikes, no score here in the bottom of the second inning. Perfect game field at Veterans Stadium. Off the end of the bat, slowly hit towards short, fielded there by Jake Hulverson. And he'll throw across the diamond to retire Henricks. 1 down in the second inning. Logan Mueller will be the batter for BV in a scoreless game. This is a pitching rematch from April 26th, in which the Norse won that game 4-1 over BV. We mentioned that weekend, that Saturday was a day where northern Iowa was supposed to get up to 10 inches of snow. Decorah ended up just getting a dusting that day as Mueller looks at a strike, 0-1. So BV actually made a bus trip from Storm Lake to Decorah on Friday and made the same trip on Sunday, and they ended up playing a 13-inning game that day. Sliced down the right field line, foul. No balls, 2 strikes. Ironically, it was a similar situation a year ago in which BV made 2 bus trips to Decorah on a weekend as well to play 2 on Friday and 1 on a Sunday. And there's no easy way to get from Storm Lake to Decorah. 0-2 fastball high. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Logan Mueller. Mueller has started the last 11 games at third base, a freshman from Columbus, Nebraska. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count, and it's fouled back to the protective netting behind home plate. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. Colin Coffey works out of the stretch all the time. That one hit well towards center field, but right at Jake Vogt, moves a little bit to his left to make the one-handed snag. And that is the second out of the inning. 2 down, and the batter is Tyler Stolze. Sophomore out of Sergeant Bluff, Iowa. The first pitch, a fastball outside, 1 ball, no strikes. BV ended the regular season 22-17. On neutral fields, they were 6-7. Luther 5-4 on neutral fields this year. Next one missed. Coffey wanted it, didn't get it. It's 2 balls, no strikes. BV with the longest winning streak of any tournament team coming in. They've won their last 4. 2-0, hit towards left. Diving stop made by Helverson from his knees. He'll throw across the diamond, but it won't be in time. Good effort by Helverson, but Stolze able to beat it out for the infield single. And he'll keep the inning alive for Riley McGregor. McGregor out of Sergeant Bluff, Iowa as well. The left fielder for the Beavers, left-hand hitter against the right-hander Coffey. Coffey gave up a 1-out single in the first inning, gives up a 2-out single here in inning number 2. As McGregor thought about it, thought better of it, they'll look to the diamond, and the base umpire will say he went around, and it's no balls and 1 strike. Unlike the regular season, they use a 3-umpire system here at the conference tournament. The 0-1 delivery, missed on the fastball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. BV and Luther actually ended up tied in the conference at 15-9 records, but BV got the number 2 seed by beating Luther 2 of 3. As the pitch goes low. 2 balls, 1 strike to count. Everybody was chasing Coe, who ended up winning that conference by 7 games. Coe enters the weekend ranked number 12 in the ABCA and Division III Baseball.com poll. Ground ball knocked down by Coffey in front of the mound. He'll pick it up and throw on to first base to retire McGregor and the side here in the inning. 1 hit, 1 left. 2 innings complete. Luther 0, BV 0. You're watching the American Rivers Conference Baseball Tournament at RollRivers.com. Jake Vogt will lead things off here in the third inning. Norse will have the top of the order against Egan Bondi. Vogt in the first inning doubled to left, and he smacks one down the left field line. It'll be a base hit once again. Vogt will make the turn and put the brakes on right there. Vogt 2 for 2 here in game number 2 of the day for the Norse. Vogt in game number 1 had 2 stolen bases. He now has 28 on the season. That is tops in the American Rivers Conference. He has 58 career stolen bases. He's the career leader at Luther, and the 28 in a single season is the most ever for a Norse player in a single season, as the batter will be Jake Helverson. Jake flew out to center his first time up. In fact, that was a play that almost turned into a double play. The pause and the pitch to Jake. Outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Vogt was running from second to third base. Helverson hit a line drive that running caught in center field. They threw behind the runner, and Vogt barely got back to the bag. Helverson squares to bunt and takes the next offering high, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. I go back to what I brought up earlier. Helverson, a 4th-generation Luther College baseball player. Bondi with the pause and the 1-1 delivery, breaking ball inside corner for a strike, and it's 1-2. And I'd venture to say that you look at any level of collegiate baseball, there's very few 4th-generation families at one location. That's a pretty neat story if you ask me. 1-2 delivery, hit toward short, caught at short there by Paper, and he'll throw across the diamond, not in time. Vogt getting back to the bag. Helverson retired on the soft liner. Vogt remains at first base, and Trent Athman will be the batter. Athman flew out to center, swinging at the first pitch back in the first inning. Each team with 2 hits, each team with no errors. The stat that counts is 0-0 as we play the top of the third inning here in Cedar Rapids. Athman, an all-region player a year ago. The first offering missed from Bondi. Athman ended up 5th in the league in hits this year with 52. Tied for first in doubles with 14. Tied for 4th in steals with 16. Coach Nickel not afraid to put a man in motion, and they've got Vogt picked off. They'll throw to the shortstop, who will run down Vogt, and it's a 1-3-6 put up. Bondi read that one well, as Vogt caught stealing 1-3-6. And now there's 2 down and the base is empty. With 1 on and 1 out, a speedy guy like Vogt at first, and a 1-0 count on the batter. That was probably a pretty good time to put him in motion, but Bondi's motion slowed him back as the curveball fouled back off the bat of Trent Athman. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Three games tomorrow. 2 at least, potentially 3 on Saturday. 1-1 hit towards second base. To his right is Bryce Rowe. He'll throw across the diamond to retire the side. The Beavers face the minimum in the third. 1 hit, nobody left. 2.5 complete. Norse 0, Beavers 0. This is the American Rivers Conference Baseball Tournament at rollrivers.com. Steve Carlson is working the camera and the computer. He's doing the hard work. I'm just sitting here talking baseball. My name is Darren Swinson. 0-0 game. Lutheran BV trying to get to the semifinals tomorrow afternoon. Noah Paper will lead things off here in the third as Colin Coffey throws a strike to Paper. Coffey has given up singles in each of the first two innings, but Beavers yet to get a man past second base. The 0-1 delivery is inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Both these pitchers have been very economical to this point. Egan Bondi with only 29 pitches through 3. Coffey about ready to throw his 28th. Pitch a strike, and it's 1-2. Good breaking ball from the senior out of Texas. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. The pause and the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Coffey gets his second strikeout. 1 down here in the third inning, and Peyton Renning, who was his other strikeout victim, will be the batter. Renning 0 for 1. And from the left-hand batter's box, facing the right-hander Coffey in the first offering is over for a strike, 0-1. Renning, the senior out of Carroll, swing and a miss. 0-2. You go back to the early days of this conference baseball tournament. They played it a few times out at Carroll, which was once a site for the Iowa High School State Baseball Tournament. Now it's played in Principal Park in Des Moines. 0-2 fastball up. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Renning trying to extend his hit streak to 4 straight in this game. The 1-2 delivery towards the first base side, gobbled up there by Owen Vanderlinden, and he'll run to the bag to retire Renning. Quickly 2 up, 2 down in the inning. So we have a quick moving ball game to this point. When these two pitchers, Bondi and Coffey, faced each other up in Decorah, that was only a game that took around an hour and a half to play. Not a lot of nonsense with either of these guys as Rowe looks at a strike, 0-1. They get the ball, they get the sign, they just pitch. And when you don't allow a lot of base runners, you don't have to worry about them a lot. As that one roped out into right center field, it'll be a base hit. Bryce Rowe, 2 for 2 now. Bryce Rowe now with 66 hits. He is 5 away from the school single-season record of 71. He was the league leader in batting average on the regular season and in runs scored. Joe Rock will look to continue a 2-out rally or make a 2-out rally for the Beavers here in the third, as that one fouled away third base side and out of play. Coach Steve Eady in his 19th year at Buena Vista. One of the real good guys in the American Rivers Conference. No balls, 1 strike the count. Pause by Coffey, and the 0-1 is outside for 1 ball, 1 strike. Runner bluffs going. A good curveball is swung on and missed. And it is 2-1 now. Or rather 1-2, I should say, on Joe Rock. One ball, 2 strikes with 2 down. The pitch towards left and a base hit. So Rock goes the other way on the breaking ball. And the Beavers with a little 2-out momentum. First and second with 2 down. And Coleman Roberts will try to take advantage of a 2-out RBI opportunity. Roberts fouled out to first. And Owen Vanderlinden in inning number 1 to end that frame. First offering outside. 1 ball, no strikes, the count. So Coffey in his first jam of the day. Coffey comes set in the 1-0 delivery, fouled above the Luther first base dugout. One ball, 1 strike, the count. The 1-1. Up. 2 balls, 1 strike now. The runner at second is Rowe. The runner at first is Rock. Coffey ready, the 2-1. Good breaking ball taken on the inside edge for a strike. And it is now 2-2. Away from second, Rowe. Away from first is Rock. Deuce is wild on the cleanup hitter for BV. The 2-2 grounded toward short. Helverson will make the toss to second, and just barely, Rock is retired, and the side is out here in the 3rd inning. Rock didn't like the call, but no argument from Coach Eady in the third base box. 2 hits, 2 left, 3 done, no score. You're watching the American Rivers Conference Baseball Tournament at RollRivers.com.